Go. Hi, this is Charles Hoskinson broadcasting live from warm, sunny Colorado. Always warm, always sunny, sometimes Colorado. And today is a special edition. I have a lovely interview with the legendary Thesis Dysmorphia, publisher of the largest scientific survey of the Cardano space. So I'd love to introduce you to one of the founders. If you could introduce yourself a little bit and give some background on how you entered the Cardano space and your particular project.
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity. I must say it's a great honor and pleasure to be here. It's like one of the things where when you start something like this, when we started the project, it was like maybe sometime we end up here talking to you, Charles. So just thank you for this opportunity to present it this way to the community too. So yeah, my name is Matea, and I come from Croatia. Me and my partner in this project, Marina, we come from Croatia, and basically, I can tell a bit about my background, what basically brought me to doing this on Cardano. Is the fact that I acquired my PhD in kinesiology in the field of physiology, and while I was on my way to PhD, I was also in the Cardano NFT space. It was like I would say a side hobby for me, and I just got to learn about blockchain NFTs, and then delved more into Cardano NFTs. And I think by nature, I'm a person who likes to create things and like make something to I don't know, make something new for people, make something new because it interests me. And basically it was just a combination of two things at that moment: being in the space which really interested me and Marina, and we were thinking it's everything is so happening so quickly here. We have our emotions and sentiments changing on daily basis. You feel bullish, you feel bearish, you meet so many people from the world, and you have opinions about what will happen tomorrow. You have opinions about why some projects are gonna do good, not gonna do good. But it felt to us that it could be interesting to basically have the facts about it, not just opinions, but to research it and put those things on paper. And while I was on my way to PhD, it just clicked to us. Okay, we're gonna do it this way. We're gonna create a project, Thesis Dysmorphia, and we're gonna create a study out of it. We want to find out the answers to some of the questions. We want to find out about demographics of the space. We want to find about their reasons to be here, and all things that you can read in the study. And basically, yeah, we started with the project in August 2022, so more than a year ago, and now less than a month ago we
Yeah,
published the results.
hold up. Let's talk a little bit about NFTs. So this is a study that you guys put together on the Cardano NFT space. So what about NFTs was interesting over DeFi or other categories? Why was this a particular sub-community within the Cardano community that you were interested in participating in and studying and getting to learn more about? What was the appeal?
Yeah, I think it was because we were most familiar with that part of the Cardano scene. We were in many NFT projects in communities, and basically now when we are thinking further, we are thinking, okay, we want to include broader Cardano space in general, like DeFi, as you said, and many other startups. But I think NFTs at that time were a good starting point for us because we knew how it goes. We knew how to create a community, or at least we wanted to start to create an NFT community, and then just start with that part because it's also a big thing, just to research the NFT space in Cardano itself. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had a chance to look through the report, and I've been traveling quite a bit, so I haven't read it as deeply as I wanted to, but I've skimmed it a few times. And there's some really interesting things, especially on how you structured the methodology and the fact that you did two things at the same time. Where thesis, I guess, is the actual paper, the actual research product, and there's this dysmorphia, which seems to be an NFT project, which is
Yeah.
really cool to do an NFT project at the same time doing a research paper and use the NFT project to do the research paper. So I want to dig deeply into, like, why was the decision made to do both at the same time, and how did you feel that they fed into each other and really provided a crux on how to do good research?
Yeah. I mean, thank you for that question, because that was our starting point, and I think that's what I was the most passionate about doing this whole thing, because we created the project to be the case study of the study, and in the same time, it's all interconnected. As you said, it all comes together in that paper, and I think it was crucial to do it that way, because to study an NFT project from its beginning to 1 year in existence, I think you have to be that project. You have to know how it came to be. You have to be the founder. You have to see how the development is going and create it. And for us, it was logical to then do exactly that. We couldn't just go to some project which already existed and told them, okay, please give us all your data, give us all your everything. But we wanted to have all that data ourselves from the beginning, and then be able to draw conclusions from it. And that's exactly why Thesis and Dysmorphia exists, why Dysmorphia as a part of this study exists. So it's a project which had its own NFTs, which had mints, which had OG members of the community, which had then public members of the community, and they all knew from the start that that that's the study itself. So it was interesting in a way, because people knew that they were entering into something a bit different, but it was still an NFT project, which had all the characteristics of an NFT project. But in the end, it brought us to the study itself, because it gave us, the researchers, the possibility to actually question some of the questions which interested us along the 1 year period.
Right. And so what was interesting to me is you had it kind of like four areas. There was the sentiment of holders of the projects, the general public sentiment, the founders' sentiment, and the moderators' sentiment, which is that fourth category was quite interesting, because we tend to think of founders and consumers, but moderators are like these essential components to community building, and their sentiment actually drifts a little bit. So when you were kind of narrowing in what set of questions and what types of sentiment do you want to measure, how did you go about actually figuring out what categories were interesting? Like, for example, I was surprised in page 33, you mentioned the mental health of people, which is seldom even discussed. And being a recipient of Twitter and these things, I feel it more than I think most people do. But that was an example of a surprising question to me, like demographic information of the male to female balance. I said, okay, that's a good starting point, but you went an extra mile. So as you were designing this study, especially in these different categories, how did you winnow down to what to collect in the surveys?
I think we went with what interested us, but also what we knew are hot topics in the space. When you mention mental health, uh, I think it is spoken quite a lot about it in NFT projects and in spaces, Twitter spaces surrounding NFT projects, because mental health issue with founders has become a bit of a meme, I would say. And at some times, when a project founder leaves, and then he or she tells it's about mental health issues, and then I think there is a topic in Cardano NFT community about that. Is that a real thing, or people from the outside probably don't know how it is to be a founder, and what kind of pressure does a founder feel? So we felt that it is a legit question, and we wanted to know, what does the public think about it? What do they think about how much stress do founders endure? What the founders think about it? What the moderators think about it? Because everyone probably has a different perspective on it, depending on their role in the space and in the projects. Also, questions which also are hot topics, for example, how many rug pulls did people experience in NFT projects? That's always a topic. That's always
And I
like
think it was between 2 to 5, right?
2 to 5 or 2 to 10. Yeah, two to 10, I think, maybe was the category. I maybe I expected more, I would say, because everyone always is speaking how they have their rug wallet, and so many NFTs which are now useless. And yeah, questions like that, which we knew that people maybe want to know about how many alternative accounts people use in space, how many wallets do they use, and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay, so when you were setting up your experiment, when I looked at the methodology, it was you had kind of two groups. There was the OG and the WL group, and then you had an extension where you did the surveys across the broader community. And I'll show people the report here in a second, so they can kind of see all the different NFT projects that participated. I think there was 47 on
Yeah.
the list.
Yeah.
How did you go about deciding those two particular groups? It seems like the thing that was different was they both had a whitelist, but one got drops in the other did not get drops.
Yes, that's correct. So that was our main idea, I think, with which we started. Can we by creating this project create two different groups with different kinds of benefits, which is also a thing that's usual in NFT space. Everyone always wants to come first to some project and become an OG because they will have the biggest benefits, and it led us to create the OG group at our project, which basically meant that anyone who signed to fill out those surveys for the period of 1 year would get a free NFT of Dysmorphia from our project. And we had the other group, which is whitelist group, which meant if you fill out those surveys, you will not get a free NFT, but you will get a whitelist to mint that NFT. And of course, those two benefits are pretty different. And I mean, we proved what we thought we would prove, that more people who were in the OG group would be willing to do that and would be willing to get something for free than those who just got the whitelist spot and could and should still pay to get the NFT when the mint was on. So. I mean, it is self-explanatory why it happened, because people could do something to get something for free, or do something to get paid. Of course, there's a difference. But what was interesting for us was the third group, which is the public group, which basically means that any member who at any point came to our Discord or to our study to fill out any of the surveys could do it, and they didn't have any special benefits. They just did it to, I don't know, enter a raffle at that point. And through time, we have seen that basically we had more people doing that service as a public members than those from the OG and the whitelisted group from beginning, which for us meant that basically the supporters that you get in the beginning probably and mostly are not 100% those which will stay with you through, I don't know, 1 year, 2 years, but you will get supporters along the way who really think that what you're doing is valuable and will support you no matter what, not because you promised something to them, but because they really love what you're doing.
Right. And I noticed that when you were structuring this, that you and your partner stayed undoxed, and
Yeah.
you kind of put some, I wouldn't say direct red flags, but pseudo red flags inside the structure to kind of see how that impacted things. What were the results of staying undoxed and putting those pseudo red flags in? Did it actually have any significant impact? Because it seemed in the survey data that there was a difference of opinion about doxing from the founder's perspective from the actual participant's perspective.
Yeah, there was some difference, and what we wanted to do with that undoxed fact are few things. We wanted to check if it's possible to, develop a project and honestly say that we are going to be undoxed for a period until the study is finished and still do it successfully. We wanted to check what do people feel about that. We wanted to check, does it change over time? And yes, what we found out in that part of the study is the fact that as the time went by, people in our project were caring less and less about the fact that we are not doxed, because they were, I would say, just looking at what are we doing and not who we are, and they trusted us because of that. That they saw that we are here every day. They heard us in spaces. They saw activities that we are doing for the community, the service and everything. So in a way, it proved to us that it probably is more important what do you do than who you are, and or who do you say you are. And that part of the study has proved us that. But when you come to the to the public part of the study, which we call general public, which is a big survey which was shared throughout the space. We had a question: how important do you think is the fact that the founders of a project are doxxed? And half of the people said that it's very important. So I think the notion of being doxxed is probably a thing also that's like a topic in space that people love to say, oh yes, of course it's important that founders are doxxed, but then in practice maybe it's not so important. Maybe it's more important that you actually deliver what you say you're going to deliver, be it a study, be it I don't know, new wallet, new staking platform, or whatever NFT can do. So I think it was nice for us to find that out in that way.
Yeah, it's important to point out that the most popular cryptocurrency project in the world still has an undoxed founder. So, yeah, everybody always says stuff, but then their actions and money. I read your introduction, and then it's like, hey, we really want to answer the why. Why are people participating in NFTs? And you kind of read through the whole report, and I don't want to bury the lead. What was the conclusion of the why do people participate? And obviously there's the primary reason, but then there was secondary and tertiary and so forth. So I figured I'd turn that over to you.
Yeah, I mean, we had exactly the question: why are you here? For the people, and it was a bit expected. They said money in the biggest amount of cases. Not with founders. Founders of projects said it's life experience as the number one reason. So that was interesting. But yes, if we have to answer why are people here, then I think still that the main reason is money. Then comes tech on second place. Then it's life experience too, and all the community things that you can gather here, like friendships and know people from around the world. But I was a bit surprised with the fact that we know that we are now in bear market, and it felt like if we question people now, the survey was done in this summer, so July 2023. We felt like maybe lower amount of people would say money, because they are not here now because of money, because there's no money to be made here now in NFTs. But still 50% of people said that. So I can say a bit expected, and it would be very interesting to do this thing again in a year or something like that, when bull is back, and see is the percentage of people drastically changing. Then will more people say money at that point? So yeah, I think the conclusion why people are here still is money, unfortunately. But with Cardano, I mean, from all the sides, and from Twitter and all communities, you always hear so many different things, and no one is actually speaking mostly about money and that, but they're always connecting. Oh, this has been developed. Oh, this will be developed. Oh, we really love that we are on Cardano. Want to be the change in the world, be the change what in the future, what blockchain can bring us. So I think there in Cardano specifically there is also a lot of talk about other things than just money, no matter what people said here now.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. People come for all variety of reasons. And what I've noticed in my career over the last 10 years is that sometimes they come for one reason and they stay for another reason. So they may come for the money, but they stay for the philosophy or the community. And one of the things I noticed looking through the report were numerous references to community as one of the things that people really enjoyed about NFT projects, especially in the 47 projects that you had. And building your own community, what were some of the lessons that you learned during that entire year of running Dysmorphia?
Yeah, well, exactly, community. Yeah, it was something that, uh, however hard it was for us at some times, at some points of this whole past 14 months now, I think coming back each day to the thing that you can have created, the community of like-minded individuals which believe in what you're building, is always felt like, okay, that's why I'm doing that. It's like you got friends from around the space who know how you feel, you know how they feel, you know their families a bit already. You are talking about, you can't wait to meet them in real life. It started to become, for me, and I'm sure for Marina too, those past 2 3 years in this space, it's like, uh, we don't have the need to call it anymore like this life and then the real life, but it's all blending together because of that connection which you build with people in the space. And especially now, when we are founders, when we have people in our community, we feel even more that way. And yeah, we have plans to meet some of them already. Some plans are, being made directly. And it's something that would never happen otherwise in our lives, for sure. So it's, I'm sure, and I know from the report, and I know from many projects which are part of the study, that it's like that for them too. It's like a second home for many of the people in the space.
Yeah, yeah. And so, having done the study, I looked through the limitations on page 64 and some of the methodology. It, having done the whole thing, if you could restructure it and do it all over again, or do a follow up, what would you do differently?
Yeah, I wrote about limitations there because, surely, uh, some things, yeah, when we look at the longitudinal part of the study, which we did over a period of 10 months, it would be great if there is a possibility to do that thing, but to actually know which individual is answering a question, a survey at one point, then second point, and then all the 15 points in time, which we didn't have the possibility to do now, unless it wouldn't be anonymous, and we wanted it to be anonymous. So it would be great to find a way for some kind of, I don't know, voting mechanism or something like that, filling out the surveys anonymously, but that you are sure that that's the same person for the first time, second time,
Right.
and 10th time. It would be great to level up the game of how scientific actually that is in this case, for sure. uh, Also, for the other parts of the study, for the general public study, I think what we would like to happen in the future is to get wider audience, to get more people in, because we got 450 people in that big public survey now. But I don't think we actually have a good idea of how big of a percentage of people which are active in space that actually is. It would be great to do a follow up with more people, more people, more people, and basically get actually the idea of how many people are active in space right now or at any moment. Because all you can look is active wallets, and we never know, how many wallets does one person use, and does it count for multiple persons then, and so on. And stuff like that. I think it would bring the game up if we got more people to answer all those big surveys which are we doing, and then to be able to produce some experiments, in social experiments, let's say, by being sure that you have one person answering through time, and then, I don't know, putting them in different situations and see what they would say, what they would answer, how do they feel, and stuff like that. Now we had only groups, which we know, okay, this group is the same group of people in all 15 points of time, but it would be great to have actually persons.
Well, it's really cool because this is an example of a self-improving flywheel. So now that you're mentioning these methodological impediments that you'd like to resolve with enhancements to the protocol or new technology, it'd be very easy, for example, to do a catalyst proposal and actually get some funding and start bringing in a broader set of competitors. Like some of the things you're mentioning, I can already think of a few things we have in our cryptographic portfolio that would allow people to prove they're a member of a set without doxing themselves, but then also have non-repudiation, meaning that they're a real identity. And that is actually their voice and their vote, and uniqueness in that they can't vote multiple times and have aliases
Yeah.
participate. There are actually ways to do that in varying degrees of complexity. In fact, you look at the self-sovereign identity movement, they have something called a non-creds, and you have this idea of verified NFTs where you can combine an NFT with an SSI. And when you put those two things together, then you can start actually proving you own it. You're a verified member of that community in that set, but then not dox yourself while participating in these polling exercises. We're quite interested in this because of SIP 1694. And there's this management logistics problem of how does a DREP poll the people who've delegated to that DREP their opinion about whether they should vote for a protocol parameter change or a hard fork or something like that. And how do they do that in a way where they have a verification that is indeed one of the people who have delegated to them, but not dox that person
Yeah.
and show how a particular account, or else you're asking too much of a publicity burden. So there's some cool cross-pollination I can already see where there's different parts of the Cardano ecosystem that may be able to come over and actually help you both with the second version of the study.
Yeah, that would be great. And yes, we are completely aware of those things which you mentioned, and those things which we want to do, and that they for now we were a team of two, basically doing this as I would say out of passion, and because we thought it's a great addition to the space. But looking forward, we now when we have done this, when we have basically created a proof of concept how it could be done, we are looking how to make it then better for the next occasions. We are looking to apply for Catalyst Fund 11 to fund the next studies which we want to continue doing. As I mentioned, do the public study again, general public study again, but also we have ideas of going outside of the Cardano ecosystem and asking people around. I would say most probably students at universities globally about their awareness about Cardano blockchain technology, and with that way, I would say at the same time get some data for us and for any entity in Cardano which is interested in that, but also at the same time inform people outside Cardano about the ecosystem and what's there. So yeah, looking forward, that's some of our future plans, which surely would be set in motion, will be set in motion as the current thing, the forkit platform and the thesis mint, which is still on, is happening. That's our plan, how to continue doing this by having support from the community who are minting the thesis study and getting access to the forkit platform to show them then again, okay, this is new data, this is new data, and you get access to see that, to have like a database of things happening in Cardano ecosystem and put it all in one place. I think it would be great and valuable for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I want to show everybody the work product. So this is the actual PDF that you guys produced. Fortunately, I have the hash of it there, so it has a strange title there, but you can see it. It's actually a very impressive piece of work, 82 pages of research. And having done this a lot on our side, I have utmost respect for how long it actually takes to aggregate all these things. And there were already a few innovations in this. For example, there's a companion website, and let me go ahead and put the link to it here, where you kind of link these two things together. And I'm going to share this here for everybody who wants to go and see it. So you talk a little bit about the relationship between the PDF and the website Forkit.
Yes, sure. So basically, the NFT itself will get you the PDF to the study, which you are showing now, and when you are in the PDF, when you are reading things, you have links in there which you can click on, and it will direct you to the Forkit platform, which is the thing which we built also to showcase this whole data, because it's so much data. It's like 4 different studies, 3,000 more answers to everything, and we thought it will surely be more interesting and more user friendly for anyone to log in when they own the NFT in the platform and basically go, okay, I want to know more about what people said about, I don't know, how much do they invest on regular basis. I want to know more about what moderators said. I want to know more about this project, for example, one of the, I don't know, 46 projects which were in the study. And then when they log into the platform, they can choose any of those things. I don't know if I can show maybe.
Sure.
Yeah, let me try to present, share screen. Okay, this one.
And let me go ahead
Okay,
and put your screen up there, add it to the stage.
okay. Am I doing it
Yeah,
correctly?
yeah, we can see it right here, general public
Great.
survey.
Yes. So basically, when you log into the platform, what you will get access to is all the surveys that we have done. So it's general public survey, which I mentioned, with 450 participants, founder survey, moderator survey, holder survey from 46 different projects, and then the T&D study, which is the one which we spoke about over several time points in our own community. And basically, you go to one of them, and I must always say, whenever I open the platform, I see how beautifully designed it is, and give all the credits to our Med Orchestra designer and developer. It's showing you demographic data in on charts, in pie charts, bar charts. You can see the investing data, behavior data, sentiment data. You get to choose what interests you. You can compare things. You can compare what general public said, what founders said, what moderators said, and see it all easily like that. So if you I would say don't want to read through all 82 pages of the study, which I recommend you do, because it's maybe easier to understand what happened there. You can go on the forkit platform and basically search for yourself. It was a thing for us to do, because we want people to see that data. We want them to interact with data, and I think this way it's easier for people than you throw 80 pages at someone. uh, how big are the possibilities that everyone's gonna read it? I'd say pretty low, but this is much more, I would say, engaging, especially now in
Yeah.
in this age.
Data has to be alive and it has to be interactive, and it helps you think around it when you can visualize it and play with it and ask questions around it. Friends with Stephen Wolfram, and this was one of the design goals of Mathematica and the broader Wolfram platform, was to make everything computable and everything interactive. So you see something and you pull it out and you say, I want to take that and play with it for a period of time and try to understand it and ask questions around it. So it's so cool that you're starting to build a platform for doing these types of things, because this is not just an interesting thing in the Cardano ecosystem, but I think this is the first time this actually ever been done with this level of rigor in this presentation across the entire cryptocurrency industry for
Mm.
NFTs, which is a really impressive thing. And it's really cool that we're first to market as an ecosystem with something like this. Excuse me,
Yeah,
still got a bit of
yeah,
a
I will
cold.
agree. I think we when we started, we did the research. Has it been done before? And yeah, haven't found it yet. So that's good. That's good to be a first at something.
Absolutely. So we'd love to have you join Intersect, because one of the things we're trying to do with Intersect is get more representation from the NFT and Cardano side of the house. And in particular, we're trying to actually get better at understanding more about the sentiment will of the community as a whole. In fact, something that was in the study that was quite interesting to me is you actually asked some questions of what do people think of some of the core entities. So, and myself included, page 49. I think it's the first time ever that I've gotten approval rating in the Cardano ecosystem. It was, I believe, 85%.
Yeah,
Although
yeah,
unfortunately, the Cardano Foundation didn't fare as well. I think they were about 18%. And just to be fair, this is strictly within the NFT people that were sampled. So we don't. Well, of course, we can't say that's a scientific poll from
yeah.
that perspective. But it's important to get that feedback of the temperature check of where are people's minds and heart sets at. And we lack that at the moment for a lot of roadmap items and for you know uh, how to prioritize things in the overall backlog of Cardano.
Yeah, correct. And basically, with this kind of service research, we are planning to also have some, I would say, small sentiment checks on forkit platform. For example, you have a short one question or two question service to see how is the people sentiment about certain topic at that point, and you get it. It would be great to have such place which people are used to come and just know that they can find sentiment there. They can check how people feel about something at that place. As you said, we don't have it yet, and it would be a great addition to help any kind of entity to choose their future, choose their next step more wisely, in more educated way, which was our idea. Bring knowledge out, bring data out, and anyone can now go and see all that data there, read it thoroughly, and learn from it, take what they need from there, because there is so much there, and make better decisions for future.
So, where did the name Thesis and Dysmorphia come from? Out of curiosity, what was the inspiration behind that?
Well, thesis, I think, is self-explanatory, because I was on my way to PhD, and then I was writing my thesis at the time, and we were wanting to write a thesis about Cardano. So that's my part of the name, and I took the name thesis for this whole period. That was my alt account, and Dysmorphia is my co-founder, Marina, and because we thought we need to have the NFT project itself. We want to make it as a regular NFT project with profile pictures NFTs. At that time, she was learning more about the real life phenomenon called Snapchat dysmorphia, which basically means that people nowadays more and more are more prone to heavily edit their own image by filters, by cosmetic surgeries, or whatever, but filters such as were available at Snapchat were the most popular ones, and that led to phenomenon, basically a disease, I would say, dysmorphia, body disorder dysmorphia. And what because we were in NFTs, we were looking at so many profile pictures. It gave us an idea to create a collection of people who are dysmorphic in a way that they are becoming their NFT traits, as a sort of, let's think about what if the future goes that way, if we all want to become our own NFTs, our own profile pictures, because in space now you can hardly find anyone with their real picture, but most of the people has their NFT, their probably most valuable NFT, as their NFT, as their profile picture. So it was an idea, okay, what if the world goes in that direction of becoming more dysmorphic in looks, to try to look as your NFT.
Yeah, I mean, being a public figure, I've noticed that it does have a psychological impact. What people say, people call me fat all the time, and I am a bit overweight, and from time to time the weight goes up and weight goes down, and I do work out. I'm at the gym 5 a.m. I do these things, but it has a psychological impact when people again and again say certain things. And also it's hard because nothing around us is real. There's generative AI pictures of me now floating around in the media, where because they don't have our IP to use my profile picture, they're just using like Midjourney or whatever to create fake Charles, and they are not flattering at all. You've probably
I've
seen a
seen,
few.
yeah.
Yeah. And so dysmorphia is certainly a thing. And then this idea of people identifying more as their NFT, that does make some sense in a certain dimension, because people, you have to think, why would they buy an NFT? There's something about that collection that they really like. There was a rug that happened a few years ago. I think it was Cardano Villages or something like that.
Yeah.
And I actually liked the Cardano Villages. I don't really collect NFTs or anything like that, but I just like this idea of these cute little worlds that we have, and the little nice little characters and these things. I said, oh, that's really nifty. So I started gathering a few of them, and then Josh Miller calls me and said, oh, don't talk about those guys. They rug. It's like, oh, God damn it. That's not fair. I like that's the only one I like.
They
There's
had small Charles there, I think,
yeah,
on the
yeah,
lands.
yeah.
Yeah.
I just I collect a lot of little small models and things like that. Like my grandfather used to build on my mom's side train models, and he'd do the whole world and put the little trees in and the little station the train would stop at, these things. So I just love those scale models, and this idea of having those was so cool. So I like the idea of collecting that, and at some point you think, okay, maybe I use this as my profile picture. Well, then we have a metaverse, and maybe that's the avatar inside the metaverse,
Mhm.
and then you spend more time basically looking like the NFT than you do actually interacting with people with your real life face and your identity.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah, it's such
exactly.
and I haven't really thought of that until you brought it up, but it's really a thing. And Snapchat is an example of that where, that becomes who you are, and then people don't even recognize the real you. They just recognize the filtered version.
Yeah, I mean, in here in communities, people by their profile picture, and you start thinking, okay, it's them. I mean, you cannot imagine them any other way. Okay, he has, uh, I don't know, orange this picture, pink this one, blue this one, and that's the person. It's becoming a thing for sure. Maybe for some future studies to learn more about it.
Yeah. Mental health is, especially in Gen Z, it's a whole new dimension. All right, let's talk about open sci. It's another huge passion of mine. I hate closed source. I hate closed journals. I hate the current way the referee process and peer review works. I think it's, being a recipient of it for almost 200 papers now. And we got it easy in the computer science world, and the journal world, it's 10 times worse. Where would you like to see that evolve and grow? Because you publish this as an NFT on the chain, you're kind of crowdsourcing it. The quality of the scholarship, I view from what you're doing, is going to dramatically increase because so many eyeballs are going to be on it and they're incentivized. How do you imagine what you've started here could serve as a catalyst for making research as a whole not only more accessible but a higher quality with a different way of participating in the construction and curation of it?
Yeah, well, I think blockchain is the best possible ground to change things in science and scientific publishing. It also was one of the reasons why I actually do this in the first place, and why it was important to publish it in the form of NFT, to make it accessible to people. I mean, anyone can read it now, uh, because as you said, I also think that science should be available to anyone, at least to read. Not at least to read, it should be the way that it works, that you have to apply for publishing in a journal, and then the fact that the journal gets basically all the credits for it forever, or for a long time, and author gets the least of it, then the peer review process and everything. I think with this, what we did now, we just wanted to put it out this way. Didn't even want to go to try to apply to any scientific journal, but just do it this way. Have one person peer review it, read it, Cardano whale, which we know knows the space, which we know has scientific background, and get a bit more rigor that way. And I believe I did a good job with methodology and everything, and just put it out this way. I'm not saying it's the highest scientific rigor ever seen, of course, but it shows the way that it could be done the different way, which I think blockchain serves as a good entry point. I have been researching a bit when writing this. Have any solutions been proposed? And there were, I don't know, 10, 12 papers about people trying to build a system of how this could work, how someone could apply a journal, you could have peer reviewers, it could all be done through smart contracts on blockchain. And basically, I guess in the end it could also be, I don't know, shared out more freely, but also anyone who was in the process of making that paper or whatever could get credits for it for real, not just behind the scenes of some scientific journal, which for 100 or for how many years now, from when journals exist, uh, take most of the credits and most of the science behind closed doors, behind subscriptions and stuff like that. So I think it's not something I can think about right now, but it's something that
Right.
down the road I'm really interested in, solving that problem of making science, uh, science for people, and also to give credits really to those who did that science.
You know, you're a pioneer in this. That's the cool part about this is you didn't ask permission. You just went and did it, and you built a community around it. You came up with a plan. You executed the plan. It took a hell of a lot of time, and now we're here. And this is really just the beginning, if you think about it. Community and team will come, funding will come, and a few years from now, you'll look back and it'll be exponentially larger than where you started. And that really is the magic, I think, of the cryptocurrency ecosystem, blockchain space. It is the field of dreams. You
Yeah.
get frustrated about something and you say, I just don't like the way this is, and so instead of complaining, you just solve it. And then you wake up one day and you've made a lot of progress in a particular direction.
Yeah, exactly.
So
And thank you for these words.
So anyway, as we come to a close, any closing thoughts for people or a call to action for people, kind of next steps?
Yes, sure. I want to invite everyone to support what we are doing by going to our forkit.thesisdysmorphia.com webpage, basically where you can mint the study and get the access to that data which I was showing to you now and which we are speaking about. It will help us immensely to move forward and to start widening our team and becoming larger than just a two people team, and do all the things that we were speaking about, actually deliver them, make them a fact, make new studies, contact universities, do some things also which we are planning, like combine service with blockchain, and then be able to say, okay, what people are saying and what people are actually doing. And we have many ideas, but for sure we need community support, we need people to recognize what we are doing, share this stream, and to so more people can hear about this happening, and being on Cardano and everything. So yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being on, and I'm glad we got to spend this hour together. It's been a heck of a lot of fun, and I certainly learned a lot. For example, when I read through, I did not know that Ada Tom and Nudes were the first to actually mint on the Cardano blockchain a NFT science paper of their
Yeah.
experiences of smoking marijuana. But you got to start somewhere, so congratulations to them. But
Yeah.
one of the things I would love to do is actually start publishing every one of our papers that we write at IO Research as NFTs on Cardano. So I'm certainly going to talk to Agalos and actually see if we can come up with an open standard for it, because it's long overdue and it's exactly what NFTs are constructed for. It
Yeah.
establishes that timestamp and provenance. And thank you so much for being here and being part of this community. And you certainly inspire us. And I'm glad that we were able to kind of give you a platform. And I really hope that you can come back next year and we can see the next research report, and we can also see this flower and blossom to the DeFi side and the other sides of Cardano.
Yes, we hope so too, and thank you very much for this opportunity. It was a great pleasure.
Cheers.